Mr. Bob Brown, who again is with the All African People's Revolutionary Party, GC, which is Guinea-Conakry, and he is an organizer.
We want to thank those of you who are here in this audience today. But most importantly, we want to thank the youth of Africa and the progressive forces in every country in this world who are, as our sister said, watching us now via webcast. The Nation of Islam's NOI.org webcast, which is either live now or will be live this afternoon. The All African People's Revolutionary Party, GC, which I have the honor and the privilege to work with. We were on conference phone calls internationally in 6 countries last night, finishing and tweaking our website. And we are also broadcasting, webcasting through the a-aprp-gc.org. And one of the reasons I am late because we pushed the button on 50,000 emails. Africa is on fire. Africa is on fire. From Cairo to Cote d'Ivoire to Pretoria. The youth of Africa are in the streets, sometimes confused, sometimes manipulated, sometimes misused and abused. But Africa is on fire because once again Africa is being interfered with through the National Endowment for Democracy, through aid, through the National Democratic Institute, the National Republican Institute, the AFL-CIO Solidarity Center, who have taken the place of the CIA. We crushed the CIA. We crushed the CIA. They could not operate on campuses in this country in the 1980s. Somebody brought them back. We're going to push them back. We fought the FBI. We refused to go to the war in Vietnam. We refused to go to the war in Vietnam. And our slogan was simple: victory to the Vietnamese. Victory to the Vietnamese, and the Vietnamese won. The Vietnamese won, and we helped them. Africa is my mother. Africa is my mother, and once again, as has happened in 2,000 years, Africa is being raped and pillaged and despoiled once again by this gang of Euro-American murderers and thieves who have struggled to control Africa for almost 2,000 years. They want the oil. They want the oil. They want the coal train in the Congo. They want the coconuts in West Africa. But the real issue is the banks. You see, Barack Obama represents the banks. Barack Obama represents J.P. Morgan Chase. Bill Daley is his chief of staff. I fought the Daley machine all of my life and kissed the ground when this last one resigned. Rahm Emanuel will not be there long. He will not be there long. Barack Obama, who is my little brother, not my president, my little brother, I have been in the movement longer than he has been on this earth. We need to speak to him. We need to speak to him very carefully, because he is either a conscious agent of the enemies of our people, or he is a fool. Or he is a fool. He needs to go back to Harvard Law School and redefine the question of just war. He's not Humpty Dumpty. He's not Humpty Dumpty. The words do not mean what he says it means simply because he, quote, has the power to define. The concept of just wars is dripping with the blood of indigenous people of this hemisphere. The concept goes back to the debate between Sepulveda at the Vatican over whether or not indigenous people were human beings, whether or not they could be converted, but more importantly, whether or not their land could be stolen. It is the concept of just war where you see the Western Hemisphere. It is the consequence of just war that I stand here today. I did not come here on the plane like Obama's father did, on Tom Mboya's CIA airlift. I did not come here on that. I was not born to be at Harvard, although I did have a full scholarship for the University of Chicago, but I chose the University of the Movement. I chose the University of the Movement. Barack Obama must understand, this concept of humanitarian intervention, this concept of humanitarian war is dripping with the blood of African people. They came to Africa to civilize us. They came to Africa to save us from Africans. They came to Africa to stop our cheese from buying us, so they say. But they have records of slavery all over the world, but I ain't seen one bill of sale. I ain't seen one bill of sale. Africa is on fire. We have 65 countries, not 54. Nkrumah was clear. The islands belong to us as well. Canary, this one, that one, they are not yet free. They are not yet free. We have the privilege of knowing Libya. When the history is written correctly, Kwame Ture Stokely Carmichael's first entry into Africa was through Libya. When in 1967, when he stopped on his way into Algeria and from Algeria all over North Africa in the Middle East and then to Conakry, Guinea to meet Kwame Nkrumah, to meet Sekou Touré. We are the inheritors and continuators of the revolutionary theory and practice of Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, the late first and beloved president of Ghana, and of Ahmed Sekou Touré. We know Libya. We know Libya. When Muammar Gaddafi and the September Revolution came to power in 1969, we were panthers. We were snake. We danced in the streets with the Libyan students who were here. The first contact of our cadre in the United States was 1974. The Nation of Islam has a long history back to 74. You know about the mosque that Muammar Gaddafi gave money to build, which is still there. You don't know about the money he gave to Shaw University, because it was no need to tell you about it. It was no need to tell you about it. We know Libya. We know many of the guerrillas today and former guerrillas from every area of it. We have sat in the little tea shops in Tripoli with countless people who came to Libya for support, who came to Libya to live because they were being persecuted, because they were being chased. We know them. We know their history. And we know the ones who stand with Libya today, and we know the ones who are ungrateful and do not. We had the honor and the privilege when these murderers bombed Libya in '86 to organize demonstrations, small, qualified, militant. I had the honor to go to Geneva to meet the plane of wounded in '86 with Mohammed Meshdou for the Revolutionary Committees, and stepped off the plane and had bayonets and guns in my back. And we told the Swiss, Kwame Ture called the embassy and said, we don't have no problem with you because you did not enslave us. But the next time you touch one of our organizers in international transit, you will know the repercussions. The Swiss took me to the plane, put me on the plane, in jail in Paris, France. Kept moving, in jail in Italy. Kept moving, came back. We organized demonstrations in '86. I told Brother Akbar, I'm glad to have lived 22 years, because it's called Do It Again. Do it again. We had the honor of spending time in 7 prisons in this country for 31 months and 54 months on parole for putting the first satellite transmission in front of the White House so our delegation could see the delegation in Green Square. It's time to do it again. It's time to do it again. If you touch Africa, if you touch my mother, there will be repercussions, immediate or delayed, small or large, in every village, in every country, 165 countries with more than 1.5 billion African people live in the world today. Stop the lies, Obama. Stop the lies, my little brother. Stop being used as an agent and a tool for the exploitation of our people. I love Africa. Barack Obama does not. I love Africa. Barack Obama called himself a mutt, a dog. He did that. He is confused. He is confused. He is doing muttish and doggish things. It's time to stop, Obama, because the rebellion against you will begin in Chicago. Will begin in Chicago, where you say you come from. I'm from Chicago, and I know rough and tumble, and you ain't rough and tumble. You ain't rough and tumble. The people of the world will go to the streets, of every nationality, of every race, of every class, of every gender. This generation of youth, confused, disorganized, set against each other, one day will wake up. And when they wake up and come to understand who the real enemy is, the world will really change. Because this nonsense that Obama calls change is nothing but some more Humpty Dumptyism. Thank you.